Major Garrett is here with us now from Washington. Major, Ted Cruz hasn't really taken any swipes at Donald Trump until now, saying he doesn't think Trump will be the Republican nominee. What do you make of the timing of his comments?
Well, the Cruz campaign feels it is now gaining real traction, at least in Iowa and possibly elsewhere. And for that reason, it needs to start differentiating itself from the Donald Trump phenomenon. It has drafted behind that Donald Trump phenomenon all this time, saying almost nothing discouraging, well, in fact, absolutely nothing discouraging about Donald Trump or the following he has created for himself in these Republican primary and caucus debates. What Cruz now sees is a chance to come in a very strong second or maybe first in Iowa. Having talked to Republican activists in Iowa there, they believe he is very well organized, that this race in Iowa will essentially come down to Cruz, Ben Carson, and Donald Trump. And if Cruz outperforms expectations in Iowa, then he has a chance to do probably decently in New Hampshire. That state doesn't really lay very well for him. But then roll up another expectations exceeding placement in South Carolina. And that would be the Ted Cruz strategy, to put himself in a place where he has genuine momentum as an alternative to Trump in time for the early March primaries, which will be predominantly in southern states, where he believes his conservative message and his antipathy to the Washington sort of beltway Republican elites will work nearly as well as Trump. But he expects, as he indicated for the first time yesterday, Trump to fade.
Major, I want to ask you a question about Cruz, who made a pretty controversial comment. He said that the overwhelming majority of violent criminals are Democrats. Is this the Ted Cruz that we were expecting?
Well, it's certainly a Ted Cruz that's going to have to do some explaining. I don't know where that information might come from. I don't know how you would statistically analyze it or come across it. But Ted Cruz said it on a radio program, and he'll have to try to do some manner of explanation of what he actually means by that. I've covered politics and crime for most of my career, and I've never seen anything that really represents, I may have missed it, it's certainly possible, a breakdown by partisan lines of American felonies, either at the state or federal level. So I'm not exactly sure where Ted Cruz was going on that, but let's be honest, Ted Cruz is far and away among the legislators, meaning people in the House or Senate or governors, one of the most, if not the most conservative. And he has a very intense conservative approach to a lot of issues, especially on the social agenda side of conservatism. So as he becomes more visible and more of a contender, his rhetoric is going to be more closely analyzed, and he's going to have to go through a bit more of the ringer than he has so far, because most of what he has said has not picked up nearly as much attention as the status he's now achieved in Iowa will bring to him, which is when you get close to the top, everyone listens to every word you say.
Major, I want to turn to the Democratic race. All but one of the female Senate Democrats endorsed Hillary Clinton at an event yesterday. Prominent Senator, though, Elizabeth Warren was noticeably absent. How significant is that for Hillary Clinton's run?
Well, what that signals, and I haven't had a chance to talk to any Democrats about this since that happened, or actually didn't happen, but it gives Elizabeth Warren something that she has always cultivated in the Senate, a place of independence within the Democratic Party. And it creates a possible specter of her endorsing Bernie Sanders or leveraging the potential endorsement of Hillary Clinton at some later date for some more specific policy proposals she would like Hillary Clinton to take on as she campaigns for the Democratic nomination. It is what you do when you have a bit more power than your other female Democratic senators, which Elizabeth Warren has. She's more prominent, she's more visible, she can raise more money, and she is more of a leverage point in the conversation about where does someone fall on the progressive side of the Democratic conversation. Hillary Clinton has been moving in that direction, and so this appears to me to be a move on Elizabeth Warren's part to say to Hillary Clinton, in no uncertain terms, if you want my endorsement, we need to talk a bit more. Let's all remind ourselves she met quite memorably with the Vice President, Joe Biden, when he was still flirting with the idea of running for president. That was interpreted similarly as a sign of not too close to Hillary Clinton. So Elizabeth Warren is taking every opportunity to make sure people in the Democratic Party and the Democratic conversation know she's not aligned with Hillary Clinton, and if she's ever going to be, Hillary Clinton's going to have to make the move toward her, not the other way around.
All right, Major Garrett in Washington for us. Major, thank you very much.
You got it.